Welcome to the second hour of Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty, Mike Gentry, and Spencer Raxter as well. And right now, as promised, we are joined by a Super Bowl champion and a man that knows a lot about the culture, the team that the Detroit Lions will square up against. He is back, everybody. Our guy, host of the KJ All Day podcast, Mr. KJ Wright. KJ, what's poppin', man? How you doing?
Fellas, what's going on? Doing well. Ready to come into town. Seahawks versus the Lions. It's going to be a game of the week. Let's get it. Let's get it.
There it is. KJ's coming out to the crib. So there's that out there as well. No, but KJ, look, man, I want to break this down, obviously, and really dive a little bit into this matchup. But, I have to ask you. What happened to the Seahawks last week? I was a big believer. Ooh. They lost that game to the Rams. Our old buddy Matt Stafford kind of tuned them up throwing the football. What happened to the Seahawks last week?
Let's put that game in a context. Nobody believed in the Rams coming into this season. They were picked 30th in power rankings. No Cooper Kupp. It's a rebuild year. We went all in to get our Super Bowl, and now we're about to suffer the consequences. And I do believe that human nature creeped into our football team, and they was like, yeah, we're the big bad Seahawks. We can potentially make it, win this division. I believe that we overlooked the LA Rams last week. And when you look at what Matt Stafford did, he was just slicing and dicing us. Back there roasting marshmallows, back there had all the time in the world, and he completed over 330 yards on a secondary who's supposed to be one of the best in the NFL. And so I was thoroughly surprised. I need our defensive line to put way more pressure on Jared Goff this week, because that offensive line that you guys have are some monsters as well. And so it wasn't a pretty outing. I believe we got kicked in the teeth early. I'm glad that it did happen then. So we wake up, get back to the drawing board, and get this thing turned around.
All right, let's move on. Lions, Seahawks this weekend, a big game, as you talked about. So big, KJ Wright's coming into town. I want to start at the top, though, with the coaching matchup in this game. Look, Dan Campbell got a lot of juice in the streets right now out there in the National Football League. Everybody's on the side there. I talked about this yesterday. I've talked about this for a very, very long time. Pete Carroll, I want your reaction to the following statement. I think Pete Carroll is one of the greatest football coaches to ever coach football. What's your reaction to that, KJ?
Absolutely, 100%. You just see what he did at USC. The man is a back-to-back national champion. He created a culture that everyone wanted to be a part of. I'm living in Olive Branch, Mississippi. I'm like, I hope that USC offered me a scholarship, because I'm going all the way to California. And he took that same culture, that same energy, and he brought that to the city of Seattle. From 2011 to about 2016, we were the team. We were exciting. We were fun. He created the Legion of Boom. He brought in Marshawn Lynch. Like, the man is just an innovator when it comes to just programming guys' minds to get guys to practice. And obviously on the football field, we're talking winning 10-plus games each and every year. Coach of the decade in 2010. So I love the man. He's a great person, great human being. And you saw he really knows how to bring out the best in us. And so phenomenal coach. And one day he's going to definitely be in the Ring of Honor and the Hall of Fame.
I got one quick one for you here before we go to Darren McCarty. KJ Wright joining us, host of the KJ All Day podcast. Speaking of Pete Carroll, episodes with Pete Carroll, the who's who in the football world. One of our chat thread people, Ryan's reaction says, KJ still looks healthy. Says you look like you could still lace him up, KJ. You still got that game?
Hey, I'm still 6'3", 245 pounds. I work out every day. But these knees and hamstrings don't work like they used to. So I'm sorry. If I go out there on the football field, I would definitely tear a hamstring. I don't want any of those problems. So I'm letting Bobby hold it down.
Well, I love the fact, because of being the Super Bowl champion, being in Seattle, the atmosphere in the building. Obviously, it's one of the most, the loudest buildings in the league with the 12th man and stuff like this. Coming into Detroit, right, this weekend. This place, I don't know if you know this or not, but it's going to be off the charts, challenging stuff like this. I guess, how is it, can you talk to us as a player, how you prepare? You don't have to prepare for the game, but there's also to the atmosphere to come into like that and playing in front of it. And you're used to having the home field advantage. And I relate back to Joe Louis Arena when we were winning Stanley Cups and stuff. It's an advantage to play at home, but what is it like to go on the road into like that environment?
And you better believe that the Seattle Seahawks are very aware that you guys got a big time win. you guys coaches off the chain when it comes to getting guys ready to go. And that you guys, I saw that you guys sold out with you guys tickets. And so we know that we're coming in the enemy's territory. We know that it's you guys' home opener. We know that it's going to be loud, but at the same time, these guys are prepared. They know that if we go 0-2, it's going to be really ugly for us, and we do not want to start off the season that way. And so when you come in guys' territory like that, when you come into guys' territory like that, you got to be able to start fast. You got to be able to finish strong because this team is for real. The Detroit Lions aren't sneaking up on anyone. We know how talented they are with that two-headed monster you guys have at running back and that offensive line. And so it's going to be a long day for us, but you got to find a way to prevail.
Super Bowl champion KJ Wright joining Big D Energy. KJ, I have to ask you this, the defensive side of the ball, that's your area of expertise. You look at what the Lions have on the defensive line, and certainly that all starts with Aiden Hutchinson and what he brings to the party for Detroit. What is his ceiling? As a guy that knows defense, was a part of one of the greatest defenses the game of football has ever seen, what do you think Aiden Hutchinson's ceiling is? What can he be?
It is still bizarre to me that the Jacksonville Jaguars thought it was a good idea to pass up on Aiden Hutchinson. He was clearly the number one overall pick, should have been last year. And when I look at what he does on the football field, this is a guy that has potential to be in the same conversation as the T.J. Watts, as a Michael Parsons. He can be a 15-sack type of football player. He had 9.5 last year, and I just watch his energy. I watch his motor. I watch him being a technician at the line of scrimmage. When you have all those tools, all those characteristics on the football field, each and every Sunday, you could be Defensive Player of the Year. And so I love what I see from him. He looks like he's got this horizon, being a leader on that football team. And he caused a lot of hell for opponents on the other side of the football. And so I saw the Chiefs last week. The tackle was false starting every play. He was lined up 10 yards in the backfield. And Aiden Hutchinson was still putting pressure on the quarterback. And so I love what he brings to the table. A dominant defender. And definitely one of my favorites to watch on the football field.
Hey, KJ, can you talk about how important, because the improvement on our team with the secondary, right? And adding a C.J. Gardner-Johnson, adding a Cam Sutton, rookie Brian Branch, you know, what he's done like that. Now, you played, you know, obviously on the greatest defense, but can you talk about what that means? Because I think that's the imperative improvement that we needed to be able to shut down. But what does a great secondary do for a defense, especially as a linebacker?
Well, what it does, first it starts up front. When you have a guy like Aiden Hutchinson putting on pressure on the quarterback, it makes life so much easier for those guys on the back end. They're able to anticipate quicker, they're able to jump stuff faster, and they know that this ball has to come out in 3 seconds. If it's 4 or 5 seconds, then defensive line, that is on you. And so when you have a guy like Gardner back there that's experienced, pair him with a young rookie, that's a real special talent that you have on that back end. For those guys to anticipate stuff, communicate well on that back end. You got the guys rushing. I love you guys linebackers as well. But let's not forget about Rodriguez and the rookie that you guys have. So a defense that's really coming together, a team that's still building, still developing their culture and their chemistry. And so the sky's the limit for those guys.
KJ, as we talked about, you're the host of the KJ All Day podcast. Pretty big-time podcast. It's been entertaining for me to watch. I love the Pete Carroll episode that we talked about. Tell the people about the KJ All Day podcast. What else you got in the works?
Man, so we got, first of all, it's our 10-year reunion. So next week, all the guys are coming into town. So I want to capture our stories this offseason. So I brought in, we're bringing in Doug Baldwin next week. We brought in Golden Tate, Luke Wilson, obviously Coach Carroll. So I really want to hit on our journeys and our stories. And so you can check us out on YouTube, KJ All Day. And we give it to you real. We give it to you raw. We cover Seahawks. We cover Lions. We cover Bears. Each and every football team we're covering. So it's been pretty fun. And make sure you guys go like and subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, KJ, man, we appreciate the time. You're a Big D Energy veteran now. Multiple appearances on the show. People like the beard game, by the way. People in the chat saying the beard game is strong.
No, thank you. I need to clean it up a little bit, but yeah, appreciate the compliment.
All right, KJ, we'll catch up with you again, my friend.
Thanks, KJ.
All right, you guys. Have a good one. Thank you.
Yes, sir. KJ Wright, everybody, host of the KJ All Day podcast, Super Bowl winner. You know what? I'm surprised, D-Mac. Like, I know I shouldn't be, and maybe this is just my entire Detroit Lions fandom life kind of manifesting itself. That looked authentic, too, when he's like, believe me, The Seattle Seahawks know what they're walking into. That kind of got me
Well,
a little bricked up a little
right.
bit.
The best part about talking to guys like KJ, and we know this because we follow him on YouTube with KJ all day. Like you said, it's like when I talk about hockey or when I give my opinion, this is what he thinks, and he knows the temperature of what is going on, especially there. The biggest thing too is that what we expected, what you always said, Neil, is what that win would do in Kansas City. Well, in Seattle, that they're really aware of what they're walking into. So that's all you want, right? That's all you want. It's getting that respect from teams, like you said, from a Pete Carroll coach team, one of the arguably greatest coaches of the game of football, right? So that that's why it's different, and that's he said everything, but they're going to be ready to play. I mean, the worst thing is that they didn't pull out a victory, right? You wanted Seattle to pull out a last-minute win against the Rams and then maybe rest on their laurels. So they're going to be as ready to play.
Because 0-2 is real.
Listen, DK Metcalf's going to be a beast. How are we going to shut him down? You got to remember, we didn't shut them down last time, and until you prove that you can, even with different guys, it's still out there.